better.
That's no, it doesn't. It just people need to stop fucking camping.
You over here. You stay over there, puppy.
When I play Infinite Warfare, I don't have that problem.
Camping is actually a legitimate strategy.
Hi, guys. This is
for
the
lames.
Irish Podcast episode 13. Irish Titanfall Princess. This is the Irish Podcast, but enough of me. I want the panel to introduce themselves. So, guys, go ahead and introduce yourself. Whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
Okay, there we go.
I was waiting to load my sound because you know I can't talk without my sound. All right. Hey, this is your boy BorderRock77, host of the 60 Frames No Lag. I am glad to be back here on Friday with TitanFallPrincess. Oh, you know, I'm already started. If you ain't seen my video earlier today,
shameless plug.
Princess. Girl. These Xbox dudes are saying my name. They're saying they're saying my fucking name.
Say my name, say my name.
I was about to say that. I was about to do that, man.
I'm gonna let the rest of the audience, the rest of the panel do. But I'm gonna say, don't say my fucking name. Go ahead.
Say my name, say my name.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jay. My YouTube channel is Everything According to Me, where I talk about a wide range of topics. That's why I got that name. And, well, I'm very opinionated there. And if you don't like my opinion, well, read the acronym to my name.
Yeah, that's the reason why I recognize your voice. Oh, well, okay. I'm Rainbow with Rainbow's Corner, man. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Game Talk podcast. And I'm here to talk games, man.
Hey everybody, it's your boy J Dub, aka Kratos. You can follow me on Twitter, and with all these games coming out, all this greatness, we drowning over here.
Oh God,
let's do it.
Behold, I am the 7th thy level, and ye shall have no other 7ths before me.
Wow, he went there, man.
Yeah. I guess I'm last, right? Well, this is lordsofeclipse, everybody. Just coming at you guys with this awesome podcast. Glad to hear from everybody on this nice Friday. Currently playing COD 4 Remastered. Shit's pissing me off. Apparently, I'm the new donkey fucker or whatever this shit is.
It works.
I don't like. Ever since I said the word donkey fuck to Seven's last podcast, now everyone just calling me donkey fuck. So I'm still trying to erase that out of everyone's memory, but everyone's calling me the Lords of Eclipse donkey fuck. So
donkey fuck.
Oh my God!
You said, "I guess I'm last." You chose to go last because you could have jumped in any time. So don't blame that on us. Blame it on yourself.
Yeah, you could start it. You could start out this podcast as the donkey fucker.
Leave it to the donkey fucker to be bringing up the rear, son.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna get started, guys. Now, and we're gonna start with this because the 7th cast. This past week, I have to start out with this, okay? And Demetrius, you had me lead into this. I just got to do it, okay? You had 7 talking about all this cool shit and answering all, everybody's questions, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my God, the one thing I did love was that roof story. I'll tell you that. And I just hearing, like hearing about 7 in general and what's going on in the 8th and stuff like that. But things got a little weird. Now, but Demetrius, since you brought it up, I'm going to do it. I am going to be calling you out on this one. All right. It's time you get put on blast. What did you say about a donkey? You don't remember. You said, I don't know what happened. You said, because you asked 7 the question. You said, if somebody paid you $1 million, would you fuck a donkey?
Whoa.
Yes, I would. That's why people are saying that to you. You don't even realize that.
I know that. I wanted people. I just wanted to say that. I just said shit. There's nothing else to say, so I had to say donkey. I was going to say a fucking cat, but I was like, nah. I'd rather do a donkey.
Yeah, but you said you were asking people if they would buy it, if they would do it for $1 million, and you said you would though, and that's why I had to put you out there because you kept telling me people are calling you this shit, but you brought it on yourself. You should have said, nah, I wouldn't do it for no $1 million. I would fuck a donkey for nothing.
Right? You're going to glove up, right?
Huh?
Wait, what now?
You're going to glove up, right?
You'd have to, man.
Yeah, well, I'm not
donkey fucker.
Man, if you go down to Tijuana, man, I mean, hey, You know.
Well, I'm not gonna fuck a donkey. That was just a joke.
I'm just saying.
Just a joke. I would never fuck a goddamn animal.
Don't care. That's your name. Own it. Live up to it. Love it. Respect it.
Go ahead,
Donkey
Seven.
fucker.
You need to change the name of your channel now, man.
No comment on any of this.
You don't want to get in on it?
No.
Not at all. Not at all.
Oh, well, I thought
Donkey
this was
fucker
gonna
brotherhood. Donkey fucking for
I'm
life.
out the brotherhood.
I'll just be here messing around with my goat.
Change your name to El Donkey Fuckador.
Nah, I'm good.
I just had to get you because you kept messing with me on the last podcast that we were on, and you said you were going to, I could do payback. Well, you actually gave me an easy inlet to this because we were both in seventh, chat there, and you were asking him questions. He said no, but you said yes, so it was the perfect segue to open my podcast since you said I can get you. So I did.
Well, I appreciate that. That's pretty funny. But
you left it. But seventh, did he leave the door wide open?
Yes, he did. We can even make it multicultural.
Hey, but I promise you, I will rise again, motherfucker, as the mafia
to fuck
of
that
being
donkey.
the one.
To fuck more donkey.
Titanfall, that's the craziest opening to any of these podcasts I've heard yet.
I gotta admit, it is the most unique.
Yeah, it's definitely
But
unique,
you know
man.
what? That's me. I'm different.
Yeah.
I gotta be different.
Maybe I'm different.
Now, it should be, instead of be called the Tip Podcast, it should be called just the Tip Podcast.
Last thing, Demetrius, before we move on to the actual topics of real gaming, what is this shit you telling me people I like shitty Chinese food?
Wait, what? What the fuck? Wait a minute. What did I fucking say
right now? Yeah.
What's wrong with Chinese food?
Wait,
Yeah.
when did I say some
And let me
shit
tell you
like that? I
something,
don't
the Chinese
remember
place
that.
I get it from, they are so good that they don't even deliver. I have to pick it up, and it's more expensive than
Okay,
There you
kid,
go.
get off my
$1.99
Let's get to the goddamn topic.
TFP.
He said, let's get to that topic. What's this about me liking shitty Chinese food? I'm like,
Oh my
Wait a minute,
god, dude!
guys,
Like
you
everyone
gotta
just
realize,
getting the
he's-
nuts of lords today. Like
No.
fuck,
Man.
Chinese food is good, but I would just
TFP
say,
scarfing down that
I
poo-poo
try
platter.
Chinese food. Down here, like where I live in Louisiana, like Chinese food is not that good.
Well, the
It-
donkey
it's-
fucking makes
It's
sense.
not that good. It's more of Southern food down here in Louisiana.
But
all I'm
So
saying is
we're
that
known for
you wanna
Southern
get-
shit, not Chinese food. That's what I
And
said.
and apparently you're known
All
for
I'm saying
fucking
is you
donkeys.
wanted to get off the subject, but you're the one who said I can rip you. If this time round I can get you, and I did, and now you want to jump ship. No, I ain't happening.
But you
anyway.
ripped me over Chinese food and donkey fuck. Like donkey fuck.
Because
That's two
you said
rips.
you would
I
fuck a
ripped you
donkey.
once.
welcome to Just the Tip Podcast.
It's
There you go.
Titanfall. That's two things they got an abundance of in Louisiana: shitty Chinese food and they fuck donkeys.
Oh shit!
Well,
Damn.
Louisiana, we don't do that. We don't fuck donkeys. That was
I'm
just-
staying away from Louisiana, man.
Louisiana, we're known for voodoo, so
I won't be fitting in.
They fuck gators.
maybe the rednecks or the hillbillies. I don't know.
Before we get into the other couple subjects, I wanted, because Puerto Rock was doing a thing right before my podcast, and talking about, and he's talking about gaming people. They're doing things. I just want him to elaborate, like he said, people got his name in their mouths. Just, and his one particular podcast in general, which I like that he roasted their asses. Well, Puerto Rock, just give us a gist of what happened.
All right, so for the full story, obviously check out my video. I just posted it up, but real quick. So a couple of subscribers went on YouTube, on Twitter, and told me, yo, you want to check out BGST, whatever, K-Mega said a few things about you. And I love K-Mega. He always, me and him, we always go at it. We're like the yin and yang in this shit. So I get him for a little bit. But primarily, the DirectX podcast, right? Without the fraud. For one, they just can't keep Iron Wolf's penis out their mouth. You know what I'm saying? Why would you name your podcast that reminds people of the original creator of it? That doesn't make sense. But anyway, besides all that shit, He-Bot comes out, mentions my name, saying that my opinion's irrelevant and no one should listen to me or whatever. And stuff like that. what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I'm like, what the fuck? You know? And keep in mind, in this same podcast, they're saying crazy shit like UK is the second largest gaming market in the world. And I'm like, that's not even the gaming market for it. It's Europe on that side of the ocean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But does Hebot say anything? And this is the dude that's supposed to be, you know, playing games since like the fucking Amiga, apparently, or whatever, for 40 years. He has 40
Wait,
years.
did you say the Hebot?
Yeah, Hebot. Apparently,
fraud, man.
apparently, he has 40 years of gaming knowledge. So
Well,
if
he started
anyone
on the Amiga, he is.
I think
But when I'm saying-
Amiga came out in the 80s. That ain't 40 years ago.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, no, I'm saying 40. What I'm saying is, if you have that much knowledge, how come he didn't put fucking the Kaleidoscope, whatever the fuck his name is, the one that does shitty rap or whatever? Fucking, why don't they put his? Why didn't he just say? He doesn't even have to like blast him. He could just say, "Hey, you know, you're kind of wrong. UK's not the market. It's Europe. That's the market." He doesn't say shit. You know what I'm saying? But they want to say my opinion's irrelevant. When most of my shit's not even roasting Xbox on my channel. Like if you look at my channel, I don't fucking say, "Hey, my opinion on Halo Wars 2, it sucks. Ha ha ha. Fuck you, X-Fags." I don't do that shit.
You know what, Rock? You know what? Here's the
You know
thing.
what I'm saying?
I take issue with this. The fact that he says your opinion is irrelevant, because one thing in this gaming community that I've seen on YouTube is that they cannot discern fact from opinion. And it seems like if you have a strong opinion, they jump all over your ass. Yet most of the time, these fanboys, and it could be on both sides, guys. It could be on PS4 or the Xbox One. You got these fanboys that are constantly presenting opinion as fact. And that's where they need to understand there's a line to be drawn there, and they don't. Let me tell
you why I got Hebot on my shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was following him, he was following me. But one day in December, he started going on a rant on The Last Guardian because it got like an 8 or something on GameSpot, whatever. You know, and I guess it was getting higher scores than Dead Rising, and he was just pissed and shit, right? And I'm like, yo, bro, relax. It's just one review, whatever. He's like, oh, no, whatever. And then he starts saying, you should shut up because you ain't got an Xbox and fucking you should have no opinions or be talking about it. I'm like, whoa, bro, let me ask you this, though. All these tweets are about The Last Guardian. I got The Last Guardian. Do you have The Last Guardian to be saying your opinions? After that, nothing. It was silence, right? And then I noticed other people were talking to Hebot, but I couldn't see his replies. You know what that means, right? He blocked me. So then I blocked him because I'm not going to let you be able to see my tweets whenever you feel like it. But notice, and then a lot of people noticed that tweet, and they called them out on that. You quick to point the finger, tell people, shut the fuck up, don't say this. If you don't have it, if you never tried it, I got 40 years of experience. You never experienced what I experienced, so you should have an opinion. So when I called on his bullshit about The Last Guardian, I asked him, do you own The Last Guardian since you own a PS4? Are you personally unhappy about the game since you played it? He ain't answered back. And we haven't talked since. Well, you see what I'm saying?
All I know is I'm 42 years old, and when the Amiga came out, I was in middle school. So there ain't no 40 years if he started on a fucking Amiga.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like I'm almost 41, and that ain't no 40 years of gaming right there. I can tell you that.
I know. I'm 39, and it is that fucking 40 years of gaming and shit.
Damn, man.
We all over here? What the hell?
Yeah, we old motherfuckers up in here.
Damn, y'all some grandpas, man.
I'm actually
literally a grandpa. I'm holding my granddaughter right now.
Damn, man.
I'm just riding the park, and I still got the longest line, son. Just live it.
Okay. Yo, we actually got a grandpa in this motherfucker. And congratulations. I never got to talk to you live and shit, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm a grandpa as well.
Oh, you are too? Man,
thank you.
Fuckers. Are you part of ARP and shit?
Wow, we got grandpas.
God damn it. I'm still.
Hey, and I'm telling you the truth. I got 35 plus years of actual gaming. So
damn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, same here, man. Same here.
Porter Rock, when I was listening to that, guys, when I was listening to what you were saying, first of all, when it comes to Hebot, I'm going to say something. He said one thing to me and acted one way. He wouldn't be around certain groups of people. He don't defend shit. He don't like the console and all that. But yet you're on a Direct X podcast with the frauds. It ain't minus the fraud. It's with the frauds. Okay? And you're being foolish and talking shit. Move on from Iron Wolf, which they don't do. Cares. He left you guys, and you can't even change the name of the show, which he made up.
Yep.
You guys have no mind. You guys are simple-minded And you got people like that on there. And I found out a couple other people went on there that said they don't like when people bash me, but yet these motherfuckers bash me too. That's why I'm doing better than you are, right, bitch?
To them though, I mean, they have a right, but nobody has a right to criticize them. That's the way they. That's what they roll.
You know what? I hate to cut you guys off, but I never heard of this guy. Who does he collab with?
He-Bot really doesn't do a lot of anything.
No.
I mean, he has his own channel. He kind of sticks to himself, but then he kind of like he likes to attach himself to like BGST and stuff. Like the mainly next gen.
When I met him, he didn't do that. He said he had no attachments, and basically what he was doing one-on-one interviews with people. He did one with me, he did one with Tim Dog, and a lot of other people. People wanted to know more about us and our background, so he would be like the host and do the interviews for other gamers that call themselves gamers to get their gaming knowledge.
You know what I noticed in this gaming community? I hate to just cut anybody off, but I just really noticed something. It's more and more I have realized in this community, more of the older people, like in their late 30s, going on 40s, they're more of the fanboys of the Xbox One console, more of the young people. I could be wrong, but every time I hear this whole fanboy shit, it's from guys that are like middle-aged motherfuckers sitting there worrying about a goddamn piece of plastic. It's like, dude, what? You're like 30-some years old, almost 40 years old, and you're worried about a fucking piece of plastic. You're trying to be a fanboy of a piece of plastic. Like, what are you doing with your life?
Yep, that's why I'm a filthy man. I hold no allegiance to any plastic.
Right.
Same here, man.
I'm about the games.
Right, like I can understand. Like I said, I can understand if you're a person who games on that one particular platform. I don't think it's wrong, but I don't think it's right because you're gonna miss out on multiple different games. Like if you're just a person who just games on Xbox, and you're gonna miss out on a lot of good other games. Like Horizon Zero Dawn that's just dropped, and
let me add something to that though. These same adults that are talking all this shit, they also go out and buy that piece of plastic that they shit on, and then they don't fucking play it. What a waste of fucking money. What the fuck is your problem?
Yeah,
they buy it just so that the reason why they buy it though is so that way they can say they own it, so that way they can say they're not a fanboy, or that they can be able to feel like they're justified to criticize.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, but I'm not spending $400 so I can criticize something.
Exactly.
But you can't criticize a console if you don't buy the games for it. You go against you gotta have the console, you gotta buy the games so you can actually play the games before you do a review, because you can't do a review without finishing the game.
Yeah, but speaking of
have games, you gotta experience the whole thing. You gotta experience online if it has online. You gotta experience everything. It can't just be, I have the plastic in my house so I can talk about it.
Yep.
If anybody, I mean, speaking of that, Next Gen did a Horizon Zero Yawn impression, and I looked up his trophies for the game, and he hasn't even got to the proving yet. If anybody has played this, y'all know where the proving is.
Exactly.
Basically, that's like where the game really starts.
I kind of knew that when I saw his video. I was like, what?
I'm like,
because everybody I know that actually loves games for games is loving that fucking game.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, well, you know what? You just made a segue. Let's get on to the next topic, because that's pretty much your thoughts on what's going on, rather than skipping over it. Okay. Now, last week we did talk a little bit about Horizon Zero Dawn. We talked a little bit about it on Porter Rock's podcast. 60 frames, no lag. Okay. Now, this week, everybody is playing the game, okay? And I just wanted to add my opinion by saying I love the graphics. I love the combat. Hunting for items, I think is great. And there's just a lot to like about Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, this game is out.
The stuff's getting hot. You're gonna have to
this game. What are your thoughts? Now, you guys are talking about it.
Sorry, Princess. There's a lot of background noise right now.
Somebody mute your mic.
You need to mute your mic.
Yeah, somebody's real loud.
Yeah, it's coming in on Princess.
Or something, talking to them.
They were in love.
Can somebody turn mute their mic?
That was Rambo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, can I just speak on Horizon a bit?
No, whoever wants to talk about it.
Okay.
You guys got the floor now. I said my piece. It's all up to you to go.
Yeah, the graphics, of course, are amazing. But one thing I've really noticed after putting I've only put about 7 hours into the game so far because I work 40 hours and I'm, I've been working. Anyway, and so what I found with this game after playing 7 hours is that nothing feels like a chore in it yet. So all the side missions that come up and everything, I don't mind doing them. I find that everything that I'm doing in the game feels very fluid and easy. Not easy in terms of, that the game is easy, but it just feels like it just flows well. The game is really well made. I'm really impressed with this entire game. Really impressed.
Good point. You're right. It does flow well. The fluidness of the game, like you said, you don't mean to say the game was easy. The flow of the game, is nice.
I mean, you can't lie. It is one. I mean, that's the first thing you notice about the game is the graphics, and it is the far. I think another article just came in by a big publisher that just said this is the most beautiful game ever made, and I think a lot of people find it hard to disagree with that. But the gameplay of it, the gameplay mechanics, I mean, it's kind of like they took a bunch of different top-notch games and kind of rolled it up in one, and it's giving me that experience that I wanted. And for Guerrilla Games to knock this out the park, man, I can't wait to see what they do next. I know there's rumors about a possible what is it? Killzone, another Killzone pipeline or whatever.
No, oh my God, no.
Hey, I mean, if it's going to be another Killzone, it's going to be a long way off.
But look, what they've learned with this game, they knew from the other Killzones that they need a higher writer. They need a better story. And I think they heard that. If they keep the same people from here, they can apply that to other games. So this could be, the Naughty Dog 2.
That'd be nice.
They can make multiple games that are good and keep the thing going. Very talented studio.
You know what? Like, I haven't even played Horizon Zero Dawn yet. My girl's been playing it a lot. Like I said, I'm probably not going to be able to play for a while because she's been taking it a game over. She enjoys it. Every time she comes home from work, she gets right on that damn PS4 in the room and plays Horizon all night until she gets sleepy and turns it off. I haven't even been playing it. The only reason why is because I've been playing a lot of COD lately. I've been playing a lot of Infinite Warfare.
We got to kick him.
Man. Sorry for you.
No, it's not the fact that I don't want to play it. It's just that I've just been playing a lot of Duty and so I've been Xbox One has no games and I don't want my console to collect dust either. Everyone, I don't want to collect dust either. I pay too much money for this console. I know there's no fucking games on it, but I at least want to do something on this damn system. At least something, even if it is. I have Resident Evil 7 on Xbox One and I just bought it on here just to say, hey, I got a game on Xbox One because they shit on it. So yeah. But yeah, for what I've seen, what my girlfriend was playing, Horizon Zero Dawn looks so good. It's amazing. I love the graphics. I love the gameplay style. But you know what? I was right. It is very similar to Tomb Raider Uncharted. People's been saying that it's very similar to it, and that's what I like about it. It's something new, but it's very similar. So it's not a major learning curve for what I've seen. The style is pretty much the same. So if you've seen Tomb Raider, you've seen Uncharted, like gameplay style, Horizon Zero Dawn is almost pretty much the same thing.
I might say something controversial here, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's better than Tomb Raider. And
yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%.
It just feels better.
Oh, Rise of the Tomb Raider. I don't really like that game. Xbox One fanboys were like all down his fucking throats, because it was exclusive for like a time exclusive thing, because that was the only fucking thing that Microsoft even had that was good as far as exclusive. But we all knew that fucking Uncharted was so much better. The story is just so much better. The characters are more better.
Uncharted 4 was really good. I really liked the game, except that it became a climbing simulator, and I just didn't like all the climbing in it.
Well, it's like that on the other ones as well.
But Uncharted 4 was especially bad in that regard.
It seemed like there was an extra amount of climbing in Uncharted 4.
Yes. It was ridiculous.
I don't know. I didn't feel that type of way. It feels like every other Uncharted. It's a lot of climbing in the other ones, so I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, you're right there too. I mean, there's a lot of climbing in those.
Yeah,
so that's one thing about it, man. You have to, when you play these single player cinematic type games, you have to be into the story. You have to take your time. listen and not just skip and rush. I know a lot of guys, they love to speed play through the games and stuff like that. You have to take it in, and that's what I'm doing with the Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm just taking it in. You know, if anyone calls me or anything like that, I'll pause the game or come back to it later. But I have to get into the story, and I think that's the only way that you can kind of embrace the whole take of the game. I've played a ton of games that I've just rushed through it, and I couldn't tell you who's the character in there or anything. And that's part of the problem with the Killzone series. You can just jump in there and play it and could care less about the story. So there's no emotional attachment to it like the Nathan Drakes and the Aloys now.
But you also got to remember, every game has a clone to each other. Just like when you play Call of Duty, you don't play Call of. Well, some people do, but I sure as hell don't. I don't play Call of Duty for the campaign. Just like most people probably don't play
it for.
Right. But see, most people probably don't play Killzone for the campaign. I mean, when PS4 was announced and they first showed Shadowfall, it had a beautiful graphics. I said, well, this game is nice. I never liked Killzone. But it looks nice, and then when I actually owned the game, I hated it. The multiplayer was shit. The story, I didn't even play the story that much because I cared about no one in the story. So those shooter games, they're really not driven about story. They're more about multiplayer. You know what I'm saying? Even Battlefield is like that.
Yeah, but what happened when you had a
off the subject there? You have to keep going. We're not talking about Killzone and all that shit.
Well, you know what though? I have to add to Horizon Zero Dawn though, guys. I tell you what though, whoever said that it takes a lot of different parts from different AAA games, you're 100% right. It takes a lot of the best parts from other games and just brings it all into one great, unique story. It's a really good game, man.
The one thing I couldn't figure out is how they managed to get an open world, this especially the size of the world that is.
Decima engine
to look like that.
That Decima engine is absolutely brilliant.
I mean,
is brilliant for taking it.
I'm playing this game on just the vanilla, and it shits on Uncharted graphics.
Yeah, see, I'm playing on the pro.
Yeah,
I could just imagine.
Someone told me it looks better than Uncharted, and when I looked at it, because I have the PS4 Pro, but my girlfriend wasn't playing it on my 4K TV. She was playing it on the 1080p Roku TV, and it looks really good. It looks outstanding, and I'm like, what?
It's definitely the best looking console game this generation.
Period.
Ever.
Ever. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously it's going to be better than the last ones, but I mean, this generation's like where we compare it to, but it's the best one on the consoles this generation.
It wasn't better than Quantum Break.
A7. What does Ace think of it?
Well, he's sitting and playing it right now. I'm watching him sit in the desert taking on this big ass red T-Rex looking thing.
Nice.
But first of all, the only reason that we ended up having one is because a certain charitable someone donated it to 8th.
That's awesome.
And that's how he ended up with his copy. So thank you to that certain special someone. Appreciate it. I have not gotten to play it at all because once 8th picks it up, he doesn't put it down until he's done, with the exception of the fact that he was completely obsessed with Neo until this came in the mail, and he hasn't touched Neo since this came in the mail.
Same. Wow. Same. That's me too. I was at Neo every day, and as soon as this came, I put it in, and I haven't been back to Neo since. I haven't been back to any game. Now
watching it, my observation is this, and that it's the first Tomb Raider mixed with a little bit of Far Cry Primal. Mixed in with a little bit of Uncharted and then some Dark Souls style boss fights.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks really nice. Like I said, I haven't touched it yet because my girlfriend is playing it, and I've also been playing Infinite Warfare and Resident Evil 7. Now that game is fucking outstanding. Resident Evil 7 is really good, but Horizon Zero Dawn, I can't wait to play it though. Once she gets done with it, are they going to make some DLCs for it later on in the future, like an extra side? Okay.
Yep. I'll say I haven't heard anything, but they are.
Yeah, I've read that from a couple of sites.
Okay, because I paid for the $80 or $90 version or whatever version that fucking thing was. So so I added that on to it. But I can't wait to actually play it once I get done playing a little bit of Resident Evil 7, getting sick of COD. Then I'm gonna go straight on that once she gets done with it too. Then we're gonna swap out. Then she's gonna go on my Xbox, and I'm gonna go back on the PlayStation. So her and I swap between consoles, so we can, so she won't get bored of one game or one thing, and I won't get bored of one thing and one game. So that's how we manage gaming in the house over here. So, but I can't wait to play it.
I actually saw. Speaking of some of these,
one more thing I wanted to add, and then that's all I've really got to say on the game until I get to actually play it.
Yeah, let's have.
I'm in a unique position where I can sit side by side and see it on a vanilla PS4 and a PS4 Pro on a 4K TV. Now my 4K TV doesn't support HDR, but as far as I can tell, the big differences between the two, if you're playing it in 4K mode, is that it has more quality, the lighting and the anti-aliasing, and that's really the big difference. I mean, you're not really going to see a huge difference between the two in 4K mode unless you have an HDR supported TV. Then you're going to see a pretty sizable difference. But if you don't have HDR, then the main difference is just that there's a lot less aliasing, and some of the lighting effects are they pop a lot more.
Yeah, HDR is really where the difference is when you get to 4K.
Yeah, that's what my girlfriend is playing in, because I'm gonna actually get us another 4K TV actually, because the one that we have is an 8-bit 4K TV. You remember Nancy when I first got in this podcast, your last Xbox fan, the guy you cursed out, that was pretty funny. He was talking mess about my TV, saying it's not a good 4K, blah 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 blah, but it still supports HDR. So I'm actually going to probably sell that TV and probably just get another 4K. I might just get the KS8000 or something and just be done with it.
Oh, and one more thing that reminds me, the reason that I'm able to do that is because I finally got so fed up with playing on this little 32-inch TV that I broke out the emergency credit card and I went and I bought the cheapest 70-inch 4K TV I could get, which unfortunately meant sacrificing the HDR. But hey, I at least now I've got a TV the size that I'm used to. So there you go.
Let me ask you guys a quick question before we continue. Is it? I've heard from multiple gamers, even PC gamers. They said it's actually best to play on a between 32 to 42-inch TV for gaming, even on the 4K, because they said it reduces lag and everything. Is that generally true? Because the TV I have is a 55 and I don't have any lag, but I did have to calibrate the TV though. I did have to set it on game mode. So I noticed the lag when I was playing Destiny a couple months ago, and when I first got the TV, I did see like some major lag in between gaming and everything on the PS4 and the Xbox. So do you guys recommend a smaller TV, or you think it really doesn't matter?
The smaller TV is definitely going to help, but I mean, with TVs, you just got to look at there's like a rating system where you can see how much input lag each TV has. So you just type in like the type of model and it'll tell you the input lag. The thing is with TVs, I mean, especially when you get into 4K, like 1080p TVs, you're going to see probably an input lag around maybe 8 milliseconds to maybe 15, 20, just depending on the TV. But when you get to 4K, sometimes you're looking anywhere from 8 milliseconds all the way up to 50 or 60 milliseconds.
Yeah, I've not seen an 8 millisecond yet on 4K.
I haven't either. But I mean, they say they're there. I just haven't seen one. But I mean,
you're getting into the big bucks there, because that's also when you're getting up into the 240 refresh rate 4K.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking 4K TVs are going to be like one of the worst TVs to actually game on, as far as like if you're looking for input lag.
I haven't had any problems with mine.
Right, like the one I have is the Samsung KSJ 6300, and that one.
For the most part, since you're used to playing on TV, you're not going to notice a huge problem. Yeah. I mean, but the thing is like if you went from like a 1 millisecond monitor to your 4K TV, you would be like, what in the hell? Because there's a huge difference. Or if you went from your 4K TV to 1 millisecond monitor, that's where you're going to actually notice how bad your TV is. But since you're so used to playing on the TV,
you're not going to care about it.
Your mind's not going to like pick up on it.
Right.
I'll tell you what.
Hey guys, listen.
Yeah.
Guys, listen. Not to cut anybody off, and I apologize completely, but Demetrius, stop. You're always going off subject with everything. We got subjects to go through. We don't want to be here for 5 hours. And this is a Titanfall Princess podcast, not yours. You seem to want to take control of it. I'm not trying to be nasty or rude, but let's stick to subject and let other people talk. You're cutting people off. They are my friends on this podcast. You can't do that.
My fault. Sorry about
keep
that.
Interrupting and you keep changing subjects. I appreciate, and I let you go sometimes, but I mean, we barely got through 2 subjects and we're 45 minutes into the podcast. Subject, and I let everybody answer your questions because I have respect for everybody. But you can't keep doing that. At the end, if somebody got something to bring up, that's when we all bring it up. You can't just run a podcast. I don't mean to be rude, and I apologize, but I just had to say that because we're going to move on. You know, we've talked about 4K TVs how many times? So I understand why you brought that up again. I hope nobody took offense to that, but, you know, we all can't be here for 4 hours a night. I don't have that time. But anyway, the next subject I want to bring up is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild launched. There's been a ton of people talking about this game. I'm seeing 10 out of 10 reviews from a lot of reviewers. The Nintendo Switch is officially out, as we all know, because it launched. And I'm glad Nintendo is making a comeback, especially after how bad the Wii U failed. And it's about time. Even though I'm glad Nintendo is making a comeback, I personally am probably not going to get the Switch right now, or at least until maybe Mario comes out and see what other games come out. You know, I can play Legend of Zelda right now on the Wii U. Okay, right now if I wanted to. Okay, now I know that J-Dub had gotten a Switch. If I'm correct, Jay, you said you got the Switch.
Yeah, I'm playing
now. 3 of them, didn't you?
Yeah, I got.
This panel, we will probably get one down. Some of the people on the panel may get one down the line. So let's talk about the Switch briefly, guys. Definitely better than the Xbox One right now, easy. But what are your thoughts? And Jay, since I know that you definitely had gotten one, give us your thoughts on the Switch.
Well, I'm sitting here playing it now, and I can tell you, it's impressive. It's very impressive. But I went into this knowing what I was getting myself into. I knew it would be a handheld that you could dock to the TV and play it like a console. So when you do that, then you can kind of shut down all those expectations of it competing with the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox and Scorpio and all that stuff. I mean, we just have to realize Nintendo is not in that lane anymore.
Oh, no.
They're creating their own lane and they're successful at it. And man, the way this thing feels in your hand, it's premium. It's not like that cheap plastic that we had with the Wii U. It's thin. That's one thing about it. When you open it, you'll realize how thin that the unit actually is. And I've been playing Zelda, Bomberman, and Fast RMX. But I can tell you, when you get it, if you're not a Zelda fan and you're not a Bomberman fan and you're not an RMX racing fan, you might want to hold off until more games come. I know they're going to be dropping games every month. And Nintendo said that what they wanted to do is kind of stretch their lineup that they had until developers had more time to work on their games and get them completed and out there. They're saving, all the big stuff towards the end of the year. But I think this thing is great. It hit the right price point. If they would have charged a dime more for the unit, I think a lot of people would have, it wouldn't have been selling out the way it did. $250 is perfect for a handheld, but they pushed it to $299, and the fact that it's $299, it comes with the little controller that you have with it, the little dock, so you can take the Switch Joy-Cons off and hit it on, and slide it on the controller. That kind of helps. It's like there's a lot of stuff in the box, so that kind of helps with that $299. That $299 price
that you see right now, Jay, is it worth the price, J-Dub?
I think it is. I mean, I bought 3 of them, so I definitely think it is.
It better be for if you bought 3 of them, though.
It is, man. I mean, this thing, I've been playing it pretty much all day. And I'm just looking at it and I'm feeling it. It's something that looks like it'll last. Now, one thing about the graphics on the Zelda, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, when people think about 720p, they're like, oh man, it's low resolution. That's not low resolution. That's still HD. And it's also because you got to think about the size of the screen. You're not looking at 720p on the television. You're looking at 720p on something the size of your iPhone 7. So that makes a big difference. So those pixels are pushed in, and you can't tell. And they say this thing has 1 teraflop of processing power. You got to think about it. This is for a 6.2-inch screen for a handheld. The Xbox One has 1.3 teraflops. So and that's a full-fledged console. So think about that. That means this unit here is really powerful.
What happened?
Oh, nothing going on?
Yeah, so I don't know. Like it just like
Everybody go.
got real quiet.
Did he stop talking or did he get cut off?
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
did
think
you
he
stop
was done
talking?
and no one knew when to go next.
Yeah.
No, I thought he got cut off.
It got so quiet that I thought.
I think he just got done, and without Princess telling who wants to go next, nobody wanted to go next.
Well, I'll give you my thoughts.
Hello?
When it comes to Nintendo, like TitanFall, you said it's good to see them making a comeback. I wouldn't call it a comeback yet. And the reason why I say that is because with the Wii U, it started out strong. Everybody, it kind of had the third-party support. Everybody was kind of excited about it. And then after that first year and a half, it just kind of said downhill. So I will say it's good to see that they actually have a must-have game. Of course, I already knew Legend of Zelda was going to be they could release that anytime. It would have been a must-have game. But I want to see what's going to actually happen a year or 2 from now. Is it still going to be maintaining this same level of gaming? The games that they have come up for it, is it going to be maintaining the same level of support from third parties? If that happens, then I think, Nintendo is making a comeback at that point. But I have no faith in Nintendo keeping with the program or keeping with what they're doing, because I've just been burned too many times from previous consoles. That being said, we bought Legend of Zelda on the Wii U, and I'm gonna wait for a little while till the library gets built up. Actually, I bought it mainly for my wife. Because I don't really play Nintendo myself, but my wife loves Nintendo consoles, and so I asked her, would she play any of the other games besides Zelda? And at that point, she said, not really right now. So we're gonna wait a little bit and then play it later, and then buy it later.
Yeah. No, for me, I'm not into handhelds very much. Like the last handheld I bought was the first PSP. And I never really played it. So handhelds just aren't my thing. So I'm not going to pick it up. But Breath of the Wild, I will pick up on my Wii U, because why not? I am a fan of Legend of Zelda from back in the day, when I was a kid. But my kids have a Wii U, so I might pick it up there. But the Switch itself, it's just not for me. And I agree with you to some extent. It's not that I don't have faith in Nintendo. It's that I've sort of grew up from Nintendo, and they're not adding IPs that I'm interested in anymore.
As for me, looking at the gameplay videos and stuff of Zelda Breath of the Wild, it looks phenomenal. But I'm the same way as Jay. The last handheld I bought, I had the DS and the PSP, and I hardly played them. And I'm thinking it's just not for me. And I know you could dock it into to your TV to get a console-like experience. But, the only IP I really like from Nintendo at this point is Zelda and Metroid. And then, unless they create new IPs, which they probably won't, they're gonna, they got a vast amount of IPs in their portfolio, but most of them I'm not really interested in anymore. It really comes down to Metroid and Zelda, and I don't see me spending $300 or even $250 for just 2 games. And I don't see them getting like certain third-party exclusives that would attract me. You know, they're not gonna get like something like a Neo or a Neo Automa type level games. You know, and I'm not gonna play inferior multiplats. You know, there's just a lot of things that the console won't deliver for me. But I'm not gonna shit on Zelda. It's fucking looks phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? If in the future, 2 years, 3 years from now, Nintendo does something where they have a huge portfolio games, whether they make arrangements with third party or something, you know, something more than just two, then I'll cop it. You know what I'm saying? I have no problems. And by then the price will probably be dropping and shit like that. But right here, right now, and what I think Nintendo's going to do, it's not going to be enough for me to justify. I'm not the type of guy to just play one game and then put the console to the side and let it collect dust. I just don't do that.
You know what, Rock? If anybody wants to send me one, though, hey, feel free.
Yes. Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Craig?
Hey, what's up, Craig? What's going on?
How you all doing? Yeah, I agree with you. It's got some nice features, but I'm gonna have to wait for the library to get to 3 or 4 games, and I'll be looking to pick it up. It seems pretty nice.
Ooh, you sound a little bit funny.
I just want to add like one thing to what you said there. Everyone, I keep hearing a lot of people say when the price drops, but with Nintendo, I mean that price is never going to drop. I mean, look at the Wii U. It's still more expensive than the PS4. Still, I think almost the same price as the PS4 Pro.
Yeah, but
I agree.
I think that
Nintendo's not a price dropper. They don't drop prices.
Nintendo. I mean, their games are still. I mean, their old games that like launched with the system are still selling if you find them new for $59.99.
Yeah, but remember, they dropped the price of the 3DS like within 6 months. They were selling that thing for $250.
I don't know. I hope so. I hope so, but I don't think.
They can't go through another Wii U scenario. They can't have two.
I hope they're not stupid like that.
Not back to back. They can't have 2 back-to-back Wii U's. They can't have that.
But I hope they don't. But I mean, I just don't see them doing it because like history doesn't show them as being a price conscious company or whatever. They just kind of like, here's the price, deal with it.
Well, I'm not going to buy one right now. And I'm getting a lot of tweets and a lot of emails. You know, 7th, when you're going to get the Switch, because we want to see you do a review of it like you did with the Wii U.
Tell them to buy it for you.
That's what I say. You know, well,
there you go.
got about 50 or 60. Got about 50 or 60 people that comes to my podcast every weekend. Each one of you send me $6. There's $300. I'll buy it and I'll review it. But right now, you know, I've got a check coming from North Carolina for $400. It's going to fund my trip to Retropalooza Houston in April. So I'm not looking to get the thing right now. But the funny part is, you know, way back when the Wii U came out, I made the statement that feature-wise, price-wise, and what have you, it was very similar, and eventually in its financial success or lack thereof, it was very similar to the Vita. And now here we are, and these Nintendo fanboys are just tripping over themselves over what is essentially the Vita 2. That's what it is.
I agree with that.
If you look at the feature set, if you took a Vita, upgraded it to current graphics standards for what you would expect from a handheld now in this gen, and added the functionality of the PlayStation TV where you could play the games directly on the television, you've got the Switch.
The Vita actually has a lot more features other than what the Switch actually has.
He brought up a good point, though.
Yeah, you are right.
One of the biggest knocks on Vita was, and again, I'm not a handheld person, but I clearly remember one of the biggest knocks on Vita was people didn't want console gaming on the go. They wanted a unique handheld experience. If they want a console, they'll just buy a genuine console and play it at home. But they don't want that console feeling on the go because it doesn't fit the go lifestyle. Now all of a sudden, they want to play Skyrim on the train and shit like that.
Because
I do see the bullshit. I agree with that. Nobody wanted the console gaming on the go.
There's another element to it, though, and that's this. It's not a console that you could take on the go. It's a handheld that you can play as a console.
Yes.
I agree with
that. It is not a console at all.
That is where its success or failure is going to lie, see, because they've combined their two markets in the hopes that they'll bring in audience from both. But the problem is this. they have failed to realize that the strength of the 3DS, the strength of the DS, the strength of the Game Boy Advance was that you had a whole ton of these smaller Japanese developers that were making games that graphically looked like something from the previous generation, but because of the gameplay and because of the fandoms behind them were financial successes, and it boosted the size of the library. Now you're on a system where you're not going to be able to make games that look like Zelda or look like Skyrim or whatnot on the budget that these smaller companies are accustomed to spending to make these games. So you're either going to end up with a lot of smaller companies having to ignore the Switch because they can't afford to make games that are competitive for what the handheld can do, or you're going to end up with a whole ton of games that just don't show off the system, that don't really take advantage of what the system can do.
That's what'll happen.
And neither one of them are necessarily going to equal big success for the thing. So I feel like it was a gamble that may or may not pay off in the long run, simply because it kind of doesn't really scratch the itch for either market that they had. It's not powerful enough to compete in the console market, really, but it's not small enough to be really your traditional handheld. It's not like you can just pop this thing in your pocket, you know.
Well, one thing I actually
I'd be afraid to take it out of my house without having a big ass carrying case to carry it around in.
One thing I said on my my podcast that I had, that the Switch it's powered by that Tegra X1 chip that's in these tablets.
Right.
So what Nintendo should do, instead of worrying so much about getting Bethesda and Rockstar and all these other things, putting the inferior version of their game on that console, is start looking at these mobile developers and say, look, okay, the Clash of Clans, that's a big game, but it's a mobile game. Okay, now take that Clash of Clans and you can make it even a little bit bigger because it has a little bit more power than what the mobile does. So that way they can maybe expand a little bit more on their game. So take some of these mobile developers, put them over onto the Switch, and then you got yourself unique third-party IPs.
Yeah,
right.
I have the
what you run into there is that you already have tablets out on the market that you can hook up to your TV and play, and you can hook up to your controllers. The only advantage they have are over those tablets is going to end up being price, and even then not so much in some markets, and the fact that they have the first party lineup. So then you go right back to the Wii. The only reason to own a Wii was because it was the only place to play first party Nintendo games.
Well, no, I mean you have more power on that Switch than what you do, like, say, of the Samsung.
Not for long.
Well, I mean, maybe not, but I mean, at the same, I mean, these tablets actually get upgraded a lot more faster than that Switch is going to. So I guess you're right on that part.
I will say this. I'll say this. Rambo, actually, I made a video about this a couple of months ago on the Switch, and actually, Rambo hit up the same point. But let me expand on Rambo's point. Nintendo needs to do two things. They need to stop showing videos and show commercials where you see they demonstrate someone playing the Switch at their home, and then they grab it and take it on the go, because that gives the perception that it's a console you take on the go. They need to stop that. They need to start showing commercials where you're already outside waiting on a bus, in a cab, whatever. Then you go home and dock it. That lets people know it's a mobile device that you just conveniently can play on your TV when you're home. That's number one.
I agree, because they're bigger market.
I don't think they're marketing it
to the. They need to market it to the parents of the kids that have the 3DS.
Yeah, I don't think they're marketing to take over the mobile market. I think they're actually trying to do the home console.
They don't have to take over. They just need a part of it. Now, this is the second point where I agree with you, Rambo. The second part is it uses the Tegra, which is a mobile chip. Developers that develop mobile games are already used to it. So that's an untapped resource that PlayStation and Xbox don't have access to. And I get it. I know where you're going to it. What I'm trying to say is Nintendo needs to go after that audience. I know we don't want them to, but if I was Nintendo, I'd be like, hey, the Xbox gamers and the PlayStation gamers and the PC gamers, we're not going to get them. That's just the reality. They're not going to play Call of Duty on our platform. They don't want that. You understand what I'm saying? So we're going to go after the mobile gamers, because there is, and the reason why I'm a bit biased, because my brother-in-law, he's a big mobile gamer, and he pretty much has his channel. He streams. There is a huge community, millions of fucking mobile gamers. They play RPGs, they play online, they fucking game chat, all this shit. They moved on from consoles. You'd be surprised how many gamers don't even fucking play consoles anymore. They moved on from that because they hate the fanboys. They hate the fact that all these games are repetitive. Developers are scared to fucking be creative. They moved on for that. If Nintendo takes that market and says, hey, the reason why we're going to move you away from a tablet or from your phone is because not only will you get the same third party or maybe even better because we have more power, but you also could play Nintendo exclusives at the same time. And we'll try to integrate a little bit better features than what you have on mobile. Not better than Xbox, but better than what you got on your iOS or Android device.
Yeah, you definitely you open it up to a whole new library that most of these gamers don't know.
Yeah, now you got gamers. You just don't have the traditional Xbox, PlayStation, PC gamers. You got gamers that left the console space and they moved on. Now they have their own thing. And that's how Switch could be more successful. Pretty much what they did with the Wii. They didn't go after the 360 and PS3 gamers. They went after a whole totally different audience that was in abundance. You understand? Well, in this case, there are mobile gamers that play mobile games. The one thing mobile gamers don't have, though, is a top-tier first-party developer. PlayStation got that. Xbox got that. PC, because you got the people who make StarCraft and stuff. They technically is the closest thing to a first-party that you can get on PC. You understand? But mobile gamers, who they got? Fucking Zynga?
Yeah.
You put Nintendo on their side, those mobile gamers will follow them. If they feel Nintendo's for them, they will follow them.
But Rock, here's the thing, though. I have to interject, though, because I have the NVIDIA Shield TV Pro, and it basically has the same chip in it, that Tegra chip. And I'm telling you right now, the games, they look better than 360 and PS3 games for sure. But think about it in a handheld form. That's amazing to have it in a handheld. So I think it could be very successful. And there's a lot of games on that Shield TV Pro that look very good on the TV. So I can imagine in a handheld, you know.
Nintendo just needs to go for the right audience.
There's a lot of third party. There's a lot of third party making games that fit that Tegra chip on that NVIDIA Shield running at 1080p 60 frames per second. So there's no reason why Nintendo can't do that and go after them.
I do feel, though, in seeing the commercials that I've seen for it, all the commercials show these, young hipsters walking down the sidewalk playing it, or they're on the roof they're having their little tea party and all this kind of shit. If they want to keep relevant and not destroy their own handheld market, they need to start at least like afternoons on Cartoon Network or whatever. They need to start pushing this thing for kids anyway, as the successor to the 3DS. Yeah. So these kids will beg for it come Christmas, and their parents will go out and buy it for them.
That's the thing, though. It's like they're not planning on getting rid of the 3DS. That's the problem. Is like they're gonna run the Switch and the 3DS side by side.
Hey guys, I just need to say something. I'm sorry I was so quiet. You guys were talking some real shit, and I appreciate that. I actually just got a phone call.
You're right.
That somebody that was like my brother passed away.
I'm sorry to hear.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that.
So that's why I was quiet. If you're wondering why I was quiet, that's why.
Do you need to go? And we can do this.
No,
we could cut this short.
No, I need to do this. I need to do this.
Yeah, you don't have to justify that.
Motherfucker, he is gonna want me to do this. He's not gonna want me to do that. I can say that right now.
Okay,
stop.
All right.
I was quiet because my phone kept ringing, and then I knew something was up because I knew he was in the hospital. So, and then I got phone calls from everybody: my mother, my brother, my other brother, and everybody else. I said, "Yeah, I know." But I just had to say that, and I always keep it real with my fans. That's why I was quiet. I apologize.
Nothing to apologize for.
But the best panel members ever because you guys just kept it going while I was quiet. And I appreciate that. And you brought out, I was still listening. You guys brought out some good shit. And I appreciate that a lot. That's why I have you here. But I want to move on before it gets late. We got like 2 more quick subjects to go.
All right.
Now for some gaming news, First Pro Wrestling World comes out soon for the PlayStation 4 and PC. I'm going to get this game because I personally like wrestling. Nier Automata is another thing in the news. Will allow players to buy trophies, which I really don't like. If you guys heard about that news. Get in the game because, you know, it's a platinum game and I love platinum games, okay? I bought... Oh, and by the way, this is another thing in gaming news. If people haven't seen it, I bought my own 7th level t-shirt, which is one of my favorite gaming t-shirts that I have, and I got the most positive review. They even told me that 7th levels, bald head, never look so good. Okay? But that's my gaming news right now. Well, what's going on? What are your thoughts on the things I just talked about, guys, when it comes to, you know, the pro wrestling thing and the automata and the trophy buying and everything else?
Now you said pro wrestling, like what is the game called?
Yeah.
Is it just called
Fire Pro Wrestling World?
Oh,
Fire
that's a
Pro.
long running series.
Now is that going to be a physical copy or is that going to be just digital? Because I hadn't seen that one pop up, so I didn't.
I'm not sure
Okay.
if it's going to be.
Do you know
Most of the
when it
last
releases?
Fire Pros that have made it to the U.S. have been digital lately. The only way you could get it physically was to import it. But chances are, if they don't announce a physical U.S. release, somebody like PlayAsia will get a translated version out. But it's not a hard game to get in physical if you really want it bad enough.
Yeah, I'm a collector, so I'm definitely going to be having to get that.
I mean, the big advantage to Fire Pro is the lineup, because they have just dozens and dozens and dozens of wrestlers from going back 30 and 40 years. You know, so you've got all the classic guys in there and all the new ones in there, and it's pretty insane. I mean, it has kind of a more cartoony, isometric look to it than what you would expect from a more visually, anyway, realistic game like WWE. But a lot of people swear by it as more fun. So it's just kind of a acquired taste, really.
I'm definitely going to have to look that one up because I had never heard of it, so I'm going to have to look that one up for sure. As far as buying trophies, I'm a trophy hunter, so I mean I don't see the point in buying trophies. But I mean they said that you're going to be able to buy it with in-game currency after your 3rd try of playing through the game. So like you have to play through the game 3 times before you can even think about buying trophies.
Right.
But isn't that corny? Gaming is supposed to be about earning.
It is
not buying.
I mean it is, but I mean at the same time I mean they are pointless little things that only certain people care about. So, I mean, if somebody wants to buy them, then more power to them. As far as me, I don't see a point in it. I won't do it. I don't care how hard the trophies are. I'll just keep playing it until I get it. But I mean, to each their own on that. If they want to spend their in-game currency on a trophy, if that's what floats their boat, then so be it. But I don't like the idea though.
I don't think that idea should never be even thought about, because I mean honestly, for those of you that like to trophy hunt, it sucks to see some guy with all these trophies and then you find out he bought them all.
Yeah, that's a part that I'm definitely going to be. Luckily, it's just Nier Automata.
But for me, I'm not a trophy hunter. I don't care about trophies. I don't even look for them.
But I hate to cut you off on but that's the money. Same thing about money grabbing. Once these companies see that everyone is buying it, then other companies going to do it too. It's just like.
But it's not. I mean, it's not with. There's no real money involved.
Oh, they're buying the in-game, so it's not real life.
Yeah, it's in-game. It's in-game currency.
Yeah,
but
you gotta understand. You gotta understand though. This is how it gets inspired. Move on to the next level.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. It starts
especially from stuff like I Am Mayo, where it only exists to earn trophies for it. They make it dirt cheap. They sell it for 99 cents. A bazillion people buy it to get an easy platinum,
And they get rich.
They make money.
Yeah, so that's inspiration. To win the marathon, 26-mile marathon, you got to start with the first step, and then it just goes on from there.
Yeah.
So don't be
Yeah,
surprised.
I can see your point. I mean, if it happens that it blows up to be something, I mean, it's gonna suck because at the same time, it's like where I've been working my ass off to get the 45, 46 platinums that I have. It's gonna suck seeing somebody that don't give a shit about trophies be able to get 100 platinums because they're just buying the shit out of them.
Yeah, because they just want the bragging rights.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I first heard about this, I did a little digging, and it could have changed. But it was my understanding, at least the way I read it, was that you're not going to be able to just go and buy any trophy that's in the trophy set. It's like there's certain trophies that you're going to be able to do this with. It's my understanding that you're not going to be able to beat it 3 times and then just take in-game currency and, for example, buy beating the game on the hardest difficulty or buy the platinum or whatever.
It's the same thing I read too.
I mean, so yeah, it's certain trophies you'll be able to do this with, and they didn't even really specify if these trophies are trophies that earn towards the platinum or if they're like DLC trophies where they boost your trophy score, but they don't have anything to do with the platinum earning the plat of the game. The third point is that when you look at it from that perspective, and I'm certainly not advocating for what they're doing here, but is it really that different from trophies where you're grinding for money in the game so that you can get a trophy for earning $100,000?
In the end, I guess
because you're still earning money to buy certain trophies, which is exactly what you do when you grind to earn enough money to get have $100,000 trophy in your.
Well, let's not forget. There's also those trophies and achievements or whatever that as soon as you start the game up, as soon as you aim or something, you're like, oh, you got a trophy for aiming. You got a trophy for starting the game. You got a trophy. Right. I mean, it's like you get all these cheap trophies. So, I mean, it's not. I don't know if it's really so much different than like what you said, the ones you're grinding for anyway, or just the cheap ones that you get just by turning on the game.
But you see, I think people actually think that they're going to be able to go and beat the game 3 times and then have enough money where they can go and buy, beat the boss without losing any health or getting hit, or beat the game on the hardest difficulty, or beat the platinum. And I really don't believe that's what this is at all. It would be shocking to me if these trophies that they're talking about even end up being trophies that add up to the overall plat score at all. I feel like they're probably going to end up being like DLC trophies where they're just their own little separate section.
That was another thing that kind of threw me off on that, because the way the thing worded, it wasn't really, it was kind of like the writer was actually wording it towards it being the actual trophy set, part of the trophy set. But I mean, it could actually just be in-game trophies that you never actually are part of your trophy set that's actually going towards a platinum. Because it wasn't really clear. It wasn't really a clear story.
It was pretty vague.
Yes.
But see, that's why I brought it up, in case somebody saw something else than what I saw. I wanted to know, because it was actually confusing to me as well. Because it can go either way, and I wasn't sure. So I said, this is a perfect subject to talk about, because there may have been things out there that somebody didn't get a chance to see, that may have come out. And you guys are saying the same thing. Well, it's the same thing you saw, and we don't know yet. It's
still cheesy either way, but I highly doubt anyone is going to be able to well, let's put it this way. I highly doubt that there's going to be any gamer that makes it through this game 3 times, and after playing it 3 times, then these trophies they're going to be able to buy is going to be what puts them over to get the plat. I highly doubt it.
Yeah. And I know I'm in the minority, but I cannot do the whole trophy and achievement thing. My gamer scores suck, but I don't care. I play the game, I beat the game, and I'm done with it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a big trophy guy. This sounds a little bit off. I guess you said you had to beat the game 2 times.
3.
That's 3 times.
Right. Your mic's a little off there, just so you know.
Well, it's kind of like what we talked about. I think it was last week. And it seems to me that most of the people I know anyway that are big on collecting trophies like I am are all in that same 35 to 40 year 30 to 40 year range. And so basically, you know, they're all people that, for the most part, came up during my generation, and they're used to, you know, they remember going to the arcades and getting the high score on an arcade machine, and that's all this is. It's just the modern equivalent of getting the high score on an arcade machine.
Yeah, I could see that, but I never cared when I went to the arcades. I just played to have fun, you know.
Right. So a lot of people generally just don't care about trophies. Like me, like I don't too much care for. Like I do have a high trophy count on my PSN, and it's just years of just that stuff just collecting up. I'm the type of person who just plays the game, beat it, and then on to the next game. I don't try to hunt for the trophies. I don't try to do all that, and because I don't see the point of it all the time. Like I mean, it's cool if you're the type of person who hunt for them or you know whatever, you know that's cool. You know, more power to you, but I just don't have time for it because you know why I'm hunting on one you know for one trophy that probably can take you a while to even get. You could be playing another game and join another game. So I
really?
Just, yeah.
Well,
So,
how high are you there, donkey fucker?
well, I'm level 16 or 17. That's not too high, but like I said, I don't hunt for trophies on PlayStation or Xbox. So I'm not that type of person to hunt that. But I mean, it's cool. It's cool to get it. You know what I'm saying? It's cool, but it's not like something, oh, I got a platinum this game. Oh, I got a platinum that. No, that's not what I'm looking for. You know, I don't go for it. That's just how I am. But
well, you know, level 33 step to my level, son. 91 plats. And included in those plats is indeed I Am Mayo. And on top of that, I have the plat in Hannah Montana the movie. Top that, bitch.
I'm actually, you know, I actually went to the to GameStop looking for Hannah Montana the movie, but they didn't have a copy of it because I wanted to get that because I have I Am Mayo not only once but twice because
you did it on Vita too.
I got the Vita version as well.
Right. And let me tell you something. That's the Hannah Montana the movie is the hardest plat I've ever earned because I had to force myself to sit and play that completely redundant piece of shit for over 5 hours.
Yeah,
and it was all done on a dare.
You love that show. You told me in private you loved that game.
You lie.
You were singing along.
Lying again.
You mentioned all those trophies you have and everything, but from a guy like me, I look at it and I go, not impressed. I'm just not. The trophies and all that stuff is just whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. Like I said, it's cool that you got level 33. You got a lot of those plats. You just like you said, it doesn't impress, but that's cool though.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, I just don't look at it. Just I got to hunt for trophies. Ooh, I got to platinum this game. Ooh, nah, I don't play gaming for that. Just to hunt. I play game to enjoy the experience, to have fun.
Well, I mean, most of us. I won't say every. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead. You start first.
Most of us hunters like won't. I mean, there's a lot of games that we go into just like I'm just going in it for the trophies. But like games like say Horizon Zero Dawn, we don't go into it going, okay, well I got to play it all just for the trophies. Like like me, I'll play the game, beat the game, whatever trophies I get for beating the game, cool. Then I go back and see, okay, what trophies did I miss, and then I go back in there and then start trying to play for those because I've already played the game, experienced it. And now I'm going back to clean up the extra trophies that I need.
But my thing is, if you're playing a game, the best thing is, even if you're not a trophy hunter, do me a favor as a gamer, complete the game. A lot of people say, I'm a gamer, but they don't complete the games. And that's on both sides. But if you are a trophy hunter, one thing I will say, if you play through the game properly and don't rush, you're going to get the majority of your trophies up front.
That's true.
Yeah, I actually did speaking of that, finishing your game, I did a video on a guy, his name is Alpha Fox Warfare.
Yeah.
I know. He used to do reviews. He's actually he's no longer with that website, but he's actually trying to create his own another website for himself that he's going to do reviews. But there were so many reviews, every single one of his reviews that he had on that website, there was some that he hasn't even booted the game up on his PSN. There was other ones that he actually, like Yakuza 0, he did a full review on, but he hadn't made it past chapter 4. Like almost every one of his reviews were like that.
See, that's what I can't stand about people.
I can't either.
Well, I've done a couple of don't buy this shits that way, but that was mainly because
that's like an impression.
I hated
that's
the game so much
thing.
that I couldn't stand to play it anymore.
But see, that to me, like that, your videos like that, that's like more of like the impression, and that's okay. That's okay to do impressions.
Yeah.
Like what you feel about
Say it's
the
an
game, but not,
impression.
don't do a review. Yeah, don't do a review like you actually played the game and beat it. Because he gave it a score and everything, like 7.5 out of 10, and like you can't give it a score after 4 chapters.
No, see, now I've done impression reviews, but I never scored it because I was given my impression initially. I said I will come back with a review later on because people want to know what I thought about the game. Can you review it? Well, I haven't finished it. I'll give you my impression of the game and what I think about it, but I cannot give it a score until I finish it. I've played games where the beginning starts out like shit and then it gets better throughout. I played games that are beginning and the ending is shit. So it just depends.
It was just like me. I made an initial impressions video on Watch Dogs 2, and I was like, oh, it looks great. It's gorgeous. This game is looking pretty fun. And then by, I don't know, 3rd, 4th hour into it, I was like, oh, this is becoming a chore. I don't like it. So, yeah.
Well,
that's what
my don't buy the shits. They all have a review score, whether I finished it or not, because fuck it. If I hate the game, I hate it. And I'm going to tell you why. And that's the thing. And if I hate it enough to where I can't finish it, you know, I'm going to score it. Fuck it. I don't care.
Well, yeah, but I mean, yours are completely different than like a review. Like yours have a lot more of like a
rant,
like a rant about it in there. And but you scoring those things, I can understand because you're scoring it based on your rant, not like saying based on gameplay. And you're talking about mechanics and. You're talking about,
it's not necessarily that I do it on everyone. Like, for example, I platted The Division and I gave it, I did a don't buy this shit on it. It's just, it's sometimes if it's so bad that I can't just, the very thought of putting it in a console and playing it for another minute disgusts me, then yeah, I'm not going to put myself through that torture.
I don't blame you. I don't
give it a shit review, give it a shit score, tell people why I hate it and move on to the next.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't hate on that.
Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to move on to the last subject that I got.
Okay.
And go out with a bang.
Uh-oh.
As usual. Well, it's just me. I'm the TitanFallPrincess. I got to do that. Right. It's like bringing a Titan down the ass. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the Xbox One. Now, I know we talked about this almost every week. Guys, I know. But this week on Twitter, this is what got me. I saw Xbox people, and I'm talking about hardcore fanboys, actually saying the console war is over. What I'm seeing is more and more Xbox people, hide behind Nintendo Switch and bash the PlayStation community. If you look, you'll see it. Now, I don't see any Xbox person actually keep it real enough to address the real problems. The Xbox One is in last place. Fact. I'm happy about it. To be honest, right now I don't really care because the problem is, every time I bring something up, it doesn't happen. It's never the console. The people. Now, saying stupid things all the time instead of asking smart questions, instead of demanding better, it's the Xbox fanboys saying games like Horizon Zero Dawn sucks and games like Uncharted are overrated. Okay, when they don't even support their own games or their own console, except to say, "Oh, hardware's the best. We got everything. Whatever." Spam boys, yes, and on Twitter would actually spend time playing games. They'd get my. I'm gonna be honest. They'd get my respect then. Okay, but when I keep seeing racism and dumb shit said,
oh yeah,
I'm gonna. Listen, you know me. You guys know me. I'm going to continue to say, fuck the Xbox fanboys. What are your thoughts about the Xbox One and being in last place and the fact that some of these fanboys are now jumping on Nintendo Switch but still putting down the PlayStation when Nintendo Switch is not in competition with the PlayStation?
Well,
what do you guys thought?
They're doing the exact same thing that they did last gen, which was when they were all walking around talking about Wii 60. You know, why buy a PS3 when you get a 360 and a Wii? And they'd talk about their Wii 60, their Wii 60. And, of course, the PlayStation fans did the same thing, only they called it the PS Wii. You know, really that's just more of an insult towards Nintendo because it's basically saying, you know, their console is the B team console. It's the afterthought. But
and it's a backup. It's their backup thing.
The backup console, or, you know, as I've said a million times, it's the only way they can play Nintendo first-party exclusives. Whatever console Nintendo ever has, it'll always be the best place for playing Nintendo exclusives because that's all it's got going for it. But
the only place.
Right. So here's what I've been seeing. What I've been seeing, you know, I've been seeing some of the stuff about the console war is over, but it's been them bragging that the console war is over, which honestly it was over, you know, it was over within 6 months, if you want to be honest with it. But the reason they're saying it's over is because they're all shitting themselves over this new Microsoft service that's been announced where they're talking about, you know, the Netflix of gaming.
Digital bullshit.
The digital streaming. But you know what? They weren't all that impressed about it when it was called PlayStation Now.
Well,
okay. And I think PlayStation Now, if anything, is a good lesson as regards to this type of service, and that being that we're not really there yet. And so they really ought not be getting all that excited over it, because no matter how great Azure is, no matter how great Microsoft makes it with all the additional features and all this stuff, if you're rocking a 5 meg per second download speed, your gaming experience is going to fucking suck, and there ain't a goddamn thing Microsoft can do about it.
Well, that's the one thing that's different about this Game Pass is that you can actually download their games. It's not like you're not streaming like you are PlayStation Now. You actually get to download it to your console and keep it for 30 days.
Yeah, but if you're you know running off of welfare internet, having to download these games ain't going to be much better than streaming them.
No,
because you're still having to sit and hurry up and fucking
besides
wait.
Besides like in the certain areas, but then they said in America the average download speed is at least 20 to 50 megs.
My ass.
That's bullshit.
Not in America.
No one told me that, and like me, I have 150 down, 120 up, so I don't have to worry about McDonald's or McDonald's Wi-Fi, so I don't have to worry about that. And like I said, I even made a video about the Xbox One Game Pass, in which I am kind of glad about it. But like I said, I have a lot of Xbox One games and PS4 games. And like I said, I don't know if it's going to benefit me, but I like the whole digital thing because I usually buy digital games. That's what usually I do.
I don't.
Yeah, like I said, the only reason why I buy digital.
That digital direction.
I buy digital games over.
Because let me tell you something. If this takes off, like it probably will, because it's like the second coming to these Xbox, I'm telling you, it's all part of that agenda. And I've said this on the 60 Frames No Lag podcast. I'm telling you guys, when they do finally get rid of discs, because Microsoft wants to do this, when they they're going to price gouge the fuck out of you. They, you think now it's bad with the pricing? If you look at physical discs, sometimes you can get them even brand new, first day one on Amazon. I can get $13 off on these new games, but on digitally you have to pay $59. Okay, right. So when they get rid of those discs, you will not get any discounts. It doesn't matter about paying for
they have no reason to
or anything. They're gonna rob you because it's just extra benefits.
Well, maybe like when everything goes to full digital, though, I do believe that they may squeeze in.
I'm going to stop this right here.
Competition.
Excuse me. I'm going to stop this right here. That was not what the subject was about. Once again, Demetrius, you brought up fucking digital. We ain't talking about fucking digital.
That was my fault. That was my fault because I brought up the Microsoft Pass.
Yeah, we jumped on that
because that's what everyone's been bragging about, and that's the funniest part of it is that this is a service that's basically going to be available on any device that supports it. So that means one less reason to even own an Xbox One, and yet they're bragging about it. How it's this is the console war ender right here. Fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that part. I didn't hear you say that.
The one thing that I cannot figure out about this is like everybody's bragging about it and like going, "Hey, yeah," but if you didn't the Xbox One games that are on there, like Halo 5 and all that, if you didn't buy the games to play them back then, why are you caring about it being on the service now?
All right, let me tap on that because I mentioned this on a 60 Frame No Lag podcast. You know, it's kind of like Netflix. Think about Netflix. You pay $10 a month, right? How many TV shows or TV series that you would not go to Best Buy and pay $40 for a season, but because it's already on Netflix and you're just paying simple $10 a month, you're like, you know what? Let me check this first episode out. You like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Think about all the games. You know, you know what I'm saying? Because you're paying for a service, so if it's already part of this library, you're gonna try it out because there's no extra skin off your back. Yeah. You know. Now people saying, you know, if you had an Xbox on the go, you should have played it. Look at Sunset Overdrive. You got 26. Hell, I'll be unbiased. I'll use PS4. Yakuza did not sell 56 million units, and I'm not trying to bash it, but it probably never will. It will never penetrate. There's just millions of gamers that will not pay $20, $30, $40, $50 for this game. But if they pay $10 a month and they have this huge library and they're just like, damn, let me fuck around and see what to download. Oh shit, Yakuza? Fuck it, let me try this shit and download it. It's no skin off your back. It's just like Netflix. Again, how many movies or TV shows that you will never pay for straight up for that movie, but because it was on Netflix, which was just an assortment, you ended up watching it. You may not like it. You might do.
As far as I mean, if you're asking me, that number would be 0 because on Netflix, the only thing I ever watch on Netflix is Netflix originals. The rest of the shit can go away.
That's the only reason I have it.
That's the only reason. Me too. That's the only reason I have it is Netflix originals.
I
gotta ask
video.
I gotta ask Titanfall though. What are they saying it's over for? What is the war over for? What are they?
It's for them. It's over for them because you know Xbox will never be able to compete in console war again.
Well, but that just like Level said, that's been over for quite some time. Yeah. The war has just been amongst the fanboys themselves.
Well,
that's why today I say fuck all fanboys.
According to Crack Gamer's channel, the war's been ended like 7 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, he is right if he's talking about the PlayStation. It's been over. It's a done deal. You know what I'm saying? That's like this, and Sub and Level could probably, you know, relate to last gen. With Switch coming out, let's assume the Switch has some moderate success. You know what I'm saying? Just enough to, let's say, consistently outsell Xbox One, even with the Scorpio from a month-to-month basis. To be the third place, to be a supporter of the third place console is a fucking bitch. You understand what I'm saying? It's just how the game is. If these guys think they have it bad now, God help them if fucking Xbox One ends up as a third place console every month from MPD.
Well, that's the whole reason that Microsoft is doing this anyway.
Yeah.
They don't want to be a hardware provider anymore. They want to be a service provider.
Yes, thank you.
They want to be a content provider.
Xbox Game Pass is actually like just the preview program to their Xbox Live as a service.
So you diehard Xbox that bleed green, that care only about Xbox hardware. I hate to say it, but if you support this service, you're just fucking yourself in the ass. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, you're basically showing them, I'll give me the service, and you can throw the console away. Like, because after the Scorpio, if this thing is successful after the Scorpio, I don't see another console coming out for them. They're done. You'll be able to play it. All their games will be on like a Netflix type service.
And I predicted all of this 8 years ago, and people told me I was crazy.
Well, as long as Sony keeps making consoles, Microsoft will keep making consoles. They're not going to try to let. They're not going to let Sony outdo them. I'm telling you.
No, they're not. They're not because they don't look at Sony as a competitor.
Guys, I have to step away for a minute.
If you're going to take away anything from this, learn this one lesson: you don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't eat another man's fries. And 7th is always right. Period. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right in the right fucking. I'm wrong in the right fucking way.
But no, I mean, they don't look at Sony as a competitor, like a competitor. They've actually cited this themselves like plenty of times. It's not really a competition to them. They are never. If you look at the history, they are never going to beat PlayStation. As far as
like I said, I think I said this the last week. I think they wanted to kill. From one of their big goals was to kill Steam.
Yeah, they wanted to. That's never going to happen. I don't know why they tried this generation. They tried taking on PlayStation. They tried taking on Steam all at one time.
They're like Germany.
Backfired.
Pretty much.
Instead of them doing what they did with 360, let everything just come natural and just let it. It just like, you know, just going back to like pro wrestling. It just everyone gets over naturally, not shoving it down your throat. So it's just like how 360 did so well because everything flowed natural.
Exactly.
No one wanted Microsoft. They want to be like nobody else. They just want to have the #1 console, be the WWE champion of everything, just be the world console champion of everything. But what the one thing I don't understand about Microsoft now is they so full of shit like they did on the 360. They had their dick was so big with the 360. Now they just can't accept that they're not winning this console war this year. Sony didn't do so well.
Something. You also realize something. There's a lot of people that changed in that company that were there with the 360 that's not there no more.
Well, there's what happened is like what happens?
They have their own visions now. They have their own visions. They want to do things their way. They think they're moving.
Satya Nadella has his hands in Xbox big time because he's turning everything at Microsoft into a service-based product, and so you can just see it like happening with Xbox as well. But just like what you were saying about how they did really well on the 360, and they kind of got big-headed on the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back to the PlayStation 2, they like how much success they had. And then the PlayStation 3 launches, and I mean, it was like this horrible launch.
Yeah, you can work a second job to afford one. They actually told the fans that.
The one thing though with the PlayStation brand is like towards the middle of that generation, after maybe 2 or 3 years, they were like, wait a minute, let's change this shit, and like they started like focusing back on what made the PS2 great. So then that started like you could see the PlayStation 3 start taking off again. So what Microsoft isn't doing is like they're doubling down on this idea that they're #1. And then instead of actually like recognizing their mistakes and saying, okay, let's just bring games. Let's just do games. Because if we did games, we did it right. We did it right last year.
But what you were if I understand you right, donkey fucker, what you were basically saying was that the Xbox One is this generation's Roman Reigns.
Yeah, pretty much. And then PS4 is pretty much Daniel Bryan. Everyone wants the yes console, and the fucking. You know, Xbox One was pretty much, you know, Roman Reigns before Roman Reigns became shoved down your fucking throat. So, like I said, I still support the Xbox One, even though it's not a good console. I still support it. I still support PlayStation. You know, it is what it is. I hate that Microsoft has turned to this type of way. I hate that this even happened to them. You know, I would love to see Xbox One and PlayStation collab with each other for once in a while, you know, just to actually make a game together or make a console together, some magical shit, you know what I'm saying? Because Microsoft can make a lot of money with Sony, you know what I'm saying? They really can. I mean, if they know that this Xbox One shit ain't working out, why won't they just join the fucking team? You know what I'm saying?
It'll never happen. Their culture is too lame. It's too geared towards hating each other. Even if both systems announced that these were the last consoles and they were going full digital, both of them, they would just have competing platforms. It would just be Netflix and Hulu.
First of all, Microsoft is not going to take an American-made company and join it with anything. They're fucking huge, Microsoft. Xbox is just a division, a small division of Microsoft. That division is not going to link up nowhere. Either it prospers or it dies. Microsoft's not going to take a company here and do it with nobody else. So that is it was even a dumb statement to say. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. They're not going to link up shit with nobody.
Well, they'll just
their services. They'll sell their services.
He would like to see that happen. He didn't say it would happen. He just he wished it would happen. He'd like to see it happen. And sure, some of these studios, if they got together with, say, Naughty Dog or a Guerrilla, there'd be some, you know, there could be some. Imagine a Halo game made by Guerrilla.
With the graphics,
that would be nice. That way gamers can feel something different. They can experience like, wow, these.
But it'll never happen.
Right, it'll never happen. But you know, just look at I would say like Naughty Dog. They team up with fucking Square Enix to make a fucking Tomb Raider game or a fucking Uncharted game mixed with Tomb Raider. I've seen people say shit like that before. And imagine those two people. I know it's not going to happen, but imagine these two companies link up with each other and just make this one fucking badass game. Tomb Raider links up with Uncharted World. You know how much fucking money they will make off that? You know how many people in the world will buy that? Uncharted fanboy and a Tomb Raider fanboy just link onto that. That'll be an automatic thing. You know,
well, let me say this real quick.
Comic books where you have DC characters showing up in Marvel and vice versa.
Well, let me say this real quick. I can tell you right now that Sony and Microsoft are negotiating right now for Miles Morales, a Miles Morales Spider-Man game. They're in call it a first date. But they, as far as you guys saying, they may do something like that.
What do you mean in terms of what?
Well, that would be more just towards making sure that there was going to be an Xbox One port of it, more than both of them having a hand in the actual development of the game. That's more just negotiating that it's going to be third party and that it'll be.
Yeah. But why would Sony be negotiating with Microsoft right now over that?
They're not
because Sony owns the
IP.
They have the IP for Spider-Man.
I know they own the IP for the game, but why would they negotiate with Microsoft to do what? To put the game on Xbox or PC?
Yeah.
Well, Sony's not gonna do that shit.
Not the Spider-Man game.
They're talking about the Miles Morales one.
Miles Morales version of Spider-Man, Porter Rock.
Yeah,
but why would Sony allow the game to go on Xbox?
They're just talking. Okay, they're not. It may never go.
But wait a minute, Porter Rock, you do realize that there's so many games on Microsoft platform, right?
What?
You do realize there's so many games that they had a hand in making that are actually on the Xbox platform. They're smaller games. They're smaller games.
Like what?
I don't think it's this generation. It was the last generation where there's some of their smaller games that they had that were.
Like what?
I don't remember. I can't off the top of my head.
You're making a statement, and you can't.
I'd have to look it up. I'd have to look it up. But I mean, I'm telling you, it's like because there's some Microsoft Studio games that are actually. That appeared somewhere on, I think it was on PlayStation 3 where it popped up. But I mean, it wasn't one of their huge productions where like it was made solely by Sony or made solely by.
I can maybe understand.
It was games that weren't released by Sony Studios, but Sony invested money in their development.
I can maybe understand like whatchamacallit, the DC Universe. Okay, I could get that because the Universe Studio separated. I can see that. But they're not going to put their big IP console make on Microsoft platform. That's
not
insane.
for no Spider-Man, dude.
Okay, let me say this right.
Spider-Man is not the big money maker because for one thing, Spider-Man has been a multi-plat for quite some time. Like the Amazing Spider-Man 2, the Amazing Spider-Man 1. I mean, Sony is just Sony's not even. This isn't even Sony's IP that's actually coming out. This isn't Insomniac. Or I think was it?
No. Listen, brother. That shit is owned by Sony now. Because Listen, bro. Listen. I know what
Sony does own the rights to Spider-Man. They even own Spider-Man.
They contracted Insomniac to do the game.
Okay.
Like Ratchet and Clank.
Hey. That whenever Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out, it was on Xbox.
What does that have to do with now?
Just a minute.
Activision made that.
Oh my God! Would you listen?
Go ahead.
Sony owned Spider-Man.
Play nice, guy. Play nice.
Listen, they didn't own Spider-Man. They owned the movie right.
They owned the game right. Yes, they did.
No, they do not. They only own the movie rights.
They own every.
They own the movie rights and they own the intellectual property. They had to license. They had to license the characters and the likenesses of the actors from Sony to make the game. But Sony didn't actually make the game. They just got a little piece of the money off of it because of the fact that the game was based off of the films.
Yes.
Listen, all right. Listen, this is one I got. All right. When Sony cut
if you look at the credits, you're going to see Sony in there.
Okay. What I got for the IP making rights, maybe for like the image of the character, but for the IP making rights, Sony did not get the rights from Marvel. Marvel gave it to Activision. Activision had it for years. For years, they were having it. Sony could not. Sony was not allowed to make a game.
Right.
For
They just had to pay Sony for the right to make a game based on
just for the image, just for the graphical image of it and the marketing stuff like that, whatever. All right. But when Marvel went to Sony because they wanted their Spider-Man character to be part of the MCU, they leveraged that saying, "We'll do it, but we want exclusive game making rights to this game." And that's how they leveraged it. Sony has exclusive.
A little bit different.
Yeah, they have exclusive game making rights to IP. No one can make a Spider-Man game from here on out. Well, I don't know how long the deal is, but for a significant time, Sony's the only one. You're only going to see Spider-Man games.
Oh yeah,
made by Sony, and who it is.
This is why Porter Rock caught my eye on his channel when he was talking about, going back and talking about games and stuff. This guy has a lot of knowledge, man.
Yeah, that's why I like Porter Rock.
Now to finish, here's the thing. And people forget about this. Some people may say, and people may go in the comments or whatever, well, Porter Rock's stupid because if they put Spider-Man, that just sells more sales on the Xbox. I understand that. But I made a video about this. Sony wants people on their ecosystem to sell multiplats because that's where the money is. For every one copy of Spider-Man they sell, there's going to be a copy of Call of Duty, Madden, Battlefield, Mass Effect, Red Dead Redemption.
There's no way. If they actually, I didn't know they actually got the full on game rights during that deal with Marvel whenever they gave back the movie rights to them.
Yeah,
well, it's not that they got that, guys. Look, listen, real quick. Listen, don't be surprised. All right, there's 3 or 4 different versions of Spider-Man. Yeah. So, all right, so Sony owns all that IP. They can license things. All right, you're going to see probably in this new Spider-Man movie that comes out in 60 days, you may see people using Microsoft products. That's part of the deal. So now Microsoft can't get Peter Parker. They can't get Peter Parker. Sony's not going to let that go. They will negotiate Miles Morales.
Well, yeah, on that, because that's not the same.
Right. So don't be shocked if in a year or two, maybe on a Scorpio or something like that, you see a Miles Morales Spider-Man on, whether it's multiplat or not. Because this new Spider-Man game that's coming down the pike now, the one you guys are just referencing from Insomniac Games, that's only going to be on the Sony system.
But Craig, think about what you're saying. If Microsoft, let's say in 2018 or 2019, Microsoft announces Miles Morales Spider-Man, that diminishes Sony Spider-Man.
No, it does not.
Not really, because
does it not?
Because it's two different characters. Two different characters, and you're talking about comic book versus movie. What Sony has the rights to are games based on the movies, the cinematic universe Spider-Man.
Think about it. So right now, Sony could say, like, if you want to play Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption, Mass Effect, and fucking Battlefield, what console you have to get to do all that?
Well, right now you have to have a PC or PlayStation. Yeah.
Did you say Battlefield 1, Total Rock?
Sony's not going to want people.
At the same time, though, you're also looking at a level of quality here. I mean, who is going to say that? Say, for example, some of these Spider-Man games that Activision shat out every year were on any level of quality compared to a Ratchet and Clank or compared to a Resistance game or what have you. They're not. So you're talking about an Insomniac game versus, say, for example, Web of Shadows or one of these other Spider-Man games that came out, over the last couple of gens. The quality difference is going to factor in there a lot. And you know what? I remember when they first started talking about this game, the big rumor was that it wasn't going to be Insomniac. It was going to be Sucker Punch. And they were going to use their Infamous engine to
that's what I heard too.
Make a Spider-Man game. So, on a side note, it makes me wonder, well, what is it that Sucker Punch has been working on all this time? Because
that's what
Spider-Man.
I'm hoping to see that.
You know what they're working on? They're working on a Sucker Punch that's going to catch you from the side.
Microsoft
they're going to be a fucking Infamous third son or whatever.
Quick question. Microsoft also wants to Insomniac as well. They could be like, hey, since you did such a great job with Sony's one, we want you to make ours. Miles Morales.
I don't know if Insomniac's going to be all that keen to go back into business with Microsoft after what happened with Sunset Overdrive.
As long as they give them the money.
I don't know too much about Marvel's universe. I'm more of a DC person, so if it was DC,
that's garbage.
Whoa, Batman's the shit.
I love DC. I love DC.
Yo, mute this dude. Princess, mute his mic.
I still want a Lobo game. I don't give a fuck.
But when
I'm gonna say this.
When you
guys are crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. And we once again, when way off topic, but I'll let you go because the fans want to hear y'all. That's why they come here to listen to me and y'all. But we're going to have to cut this stream. We're going to have to save this because we are past 9 o'clock, guys.
Oh,
Eastern Standard Time. Oh, that long?
Well,
You
that's
know
what
what's
I
up.
heard, but
I'm not gonna touch that one, man. I'm not touching that one.
I'm gonna stay shut.
But you know
little
what?
dirty.
I kind of got to blame it on Seventh because he came in, I mean, he was here, but he didn't talk that much, and I was waiting for him to talk more than what he did. So I'm blaming on Seventh this time.
well, I don't want to turn your podcast into the Seventh Show. That's what the fucking Seventh Cast is for. I just come in
I
and
didn't say that, but I brought you here. I brought you guest and to open your big mouth because I know you got one. You got one of those big redneck mouths. So bring it out.
I thought I brought along some cogent points here. Come on, now. I'm trying to. There's a lot of people in this. There's a lot of people in this podcast. I'm not going to rant for 30 minutes on a subject when there's 7 or 8 different people in here that want to talk too.
Guys, I got to mess with him. Yeah, what's that?
I got to run, but thank you for the invite. I appreciate
it. Do me a favor, real quick, because we're going to leave. Do your outro real quick before you go.
Okay. Everybody, well, everything according to me is my YouTube channel, guys. Check it out or not. It doesn't matter. But I thank you very, very much for inviting me to the show. It was awesome, guys.
Thank you for having me here, and I'm sorry you had to go. Well, we're ending up anyway. We're winding down anyway. Thank you for coming. I'm glad
Dude's got a cool radio voice.
Thank you.
And it's good radio.
He does. All right, we're going to do our outros tonight, guys. Okay, next up, let's do Demetrius, do your outro. Since you said you got to go last coming in, you get to go at least second going out.
All right, everyone. That's Lords of Eclipse. I'm just signing out here. I had a good time chatting with everybody in this podcast, and I definitely will see you guys next Friday.
Sounds good. Then we got, let's see.
Donkey fucker.
Well, that you just win.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to get one more out there.
Oh, okay. Then we got J-Dub.
J-Dub left, didn't he?
Oh, Kratos left.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't know Kratos left.
He had to go pick up his wife and kids. He left a little while ago.
Oh, yeah, he typed in the chat on the side.
Oh, I forgot he did that. I wasn't even watching. All right. Rambo.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just Rambo. If y'all want to follow me on Twitter, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Same place at Rambo's Corner. I'm the guy with like the big, huge collection of PlayStation 4 games. So if you've seen that passed around, that's probably going to be me. So come follow me over there. We'll talk some games.
Okay.
He's even got more than me.
Then next we got 7th level.
The suspense.
Oh, shit. Yes, it is I, the 7th level. I'm sorry that I didn't talk over everyone and dominate Titanfall Princess's podcast. I'm sorry I wasn't an asshole. I apologize. The next time I come on, I swear I'll piss off everybody and I'll just dominate and talk over everyone so she'll be happy. In the meantime, you can all come by. You can all, well, you're constantly every week telling people shit that I didn't say, so it's my turn around. But everyone can come by and see me, well, not see me, but can hear me talk for God knows how long on the 7th cast tomorrow night, starting at, well, we'll start it at, say, 6 p.m. my time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern. And then you can hear me rant for 30 minutes or more on one topic and piss everybody off because I'm not answering their questions fast enough. And you can buy a 7 t-shirt and you can hit the little gray button with the $sign on it. And that's all I got to say. I'm done. Just stick a fork in me.
Well, I got
Have a good night.
Say with your outro, you need to do an 8-hour one.
Oh, fuck that.
To 8. No, dedicate to 8. What do you mean, fuck that? Dedicate to 8. You need to stop that shit.
An 8-hour podcast dedicated to 8. I don't think he'd want me to do one because that's 8 hours that I'm not, like, playing games with him. So that would, he probably wouldn't appreciate that very much.
No, if I say it and I'm going to be in there, 8th can join, 8th would love it. now you need to talk to Eighth and tell Eighth that you're wrong. Okay. So now, don't worry. I'm gonna get you tomorrow. I'll be there.
Yeah, toss me a few more T-shirt sales from your friends my way, and then we'll talk.
I'm gonna do a good review. They're saying on my review that your bald head never looked so good before in their life. They loved it.
Well, naturally. I'm like the third boob. Go look at the video. I'm the third tent. I make her look like the chick from Total Recall. Stick a nipple on my forehead, you wouldn't even know the difference.
Oh shit.
Now we got all right. On that note, now you got my ribs hurting. On that note, Border Rock, do the outro.
It's your boy Porter Rock 77. Thanks very much for being part of this podcast. I appreciate it. Check out my podcast every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. But it'll be in a little hiatus for the next 5 weeks. I got some things to do, but I'll be back in April. Anyway, appreciate it. Love this podcast. And that's it.
And you know who this is? This is the TitanFallPrincess. Hey guys, again, I apologize for not talking as much as I want that I should have. I had some bad news tonight. But as always, I got a podcast that could take over no matter what happens. And you know why they do that? They love me. And that's just the way it is. And so do you all. And that's why you're here and you love my cast. You love that we bring you real shit, real news. We don't sugarcoat. We bring the way they are. And that's what it is. And we're out. Listen, but before I go, check everybody's channels. And check out everybody's channels. Tell them what you want to hear from them. Hit that like button, sub to them. All right? I'm out of here. Good night, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Donkey fucker.
Yeah.